Our story begins with Daegun's past, a regular student at an ordinary school. However, due to his small stature and gentle nature, Daegun became the target of bullying by the mischievous kids in his class. At first, when erasers would suddenly fly at him, Daegun thought it was just a coincidence. "Oh, I think I accidentally threw an eraser at you. Sorry, I meant to throw it to the person sitting in front of you." The kids would laugh and explain insincerely. However, Daegun noticed that there was no one sitting in front of him. It was then that he began to realize something was wrong. Realizing it was one thing, but standing up for himself was another. Daegun chose to remain silent and endure, but that only gave the bullies more confidence to continue. Erasers kept flying at Daegun's head, making it impossible for him to focus on his studies. People often say, a moment of patience is worth 9 moments of peace. But how long could anyone tolerate it? After a short time of suppressing his feelings, Daegun finally turned around and boldly demanded that the bully stop his malicious joke. To his surprise, instead of feeling remorse, the bully acted arrogantly and insolently, making the atmosphere between them more tense than ever. To him, the fact that Daegun dared to speak out in opposition was utterly unacceptable. To preserve his pride, he didn't think he needed to listen to Daegun. On the contrary, when he saw Daegun approaching with an angry expression, he became even more furious. Daegun, feeling anxious about the tense situation, tried to explain that he just wanted peace and had no intention of offending or opposing anyone. But someone like him, a petty person, only knew how to strike instead of speak. Rather than listening, he no longer threw an eraser but directly threw his hand at Daegun's face. Realizing things were escalating, Daegun tried to apologize to ease the situation. However, the bully had no intention of stopping. He continued to attack, relentlessly. The students around them just stood and watched, treating it like a spectacle, completely indifferent to the violence unfolding. It wasn't until the teacher entered that a new student hurriedly ran over to try and intervene. Daegun silently thought that he had finally been saved. But the reality was completely different. Despite Daegun's attempts to seek help and signal, the teacher just turned a blind eye and coldly said, "Both of you should stop this childish behavior." Those words felt like a bucket of cold water poured over Daegun's flickering hope, making him realize that even the adults weren't on his side. Surprised, stunned, and completely shocked were the emotions that Daegun experienced. He couldn't believe that his teacher viewed what had just happened in front of his eyes as merely a joke. The hope of being helped was now shattered, pleading for the bully to stop had no effect, and expecting help from anyone else was hopeless. The only thing Daegun could do at that moment was to grit his teeth and endure. Even when the immature kid stuck a paper with the words "No Mother" on his back, Daegun couldn't resist. He had